Dear students, today we will continue with algorithms. In the last class, we have seen how to use the algorithm for the conditional process. Today, we will continue the same conditional process for the multiple condition. Maybe on the screen you can see one example algorithm to input average marks and find grade on the basis of given criteria. The given criteria are less than 32 fail, 32 to 50 pass, 50 to 60 second class, 60 to 85 first class, and greater than 85 distinction. Okay, now we will see how we can use this condition to write the algorithm. Step 1. Read average marks. Input AVG. AVG is a variable to take the average marks. Step 2. Find the grade on given criteria. And the criteria is if AVG less than 32, print fail. Otherwise, that means AVG is more than 32, move to next part, that is else if AVG less than 50, and here else if represents 32 to 50, that is greater than 32, less than 50, print pass. That means if any student gets the marks within 32 to 50, he will get the grade as pass. Else if AVG less than 60, this one 50 to 60, since more than 50 means it comes to the else part, and 50 to 60 print second class, then 60 to 85 print first class. Otherwise means more than 85 print distinction. Okay, this is the method to check the multiple condition using if statement, and in the if we will take else, again else if like this way, and we will call these type of things nested if. Okay, we are nesting one if within another if, so it is called as nested if statement. Step 3, stop, that is exit. Okay, next one, an algorithm to input salary of employee and find HRA, PF, DA on following criteria. Even here you can see if salary less than 10,000, HRA is 2% of salary, DA is 1/6 of salary, PF is 200 rupees. If salary greater than 10,000, HRA is 5% of salary, DA is 1/4 of salary, PF is equal to 600. Otherwise, HRA is 5% of salary, DA is half of salary, PF is equal to 600. Even this example, in this example, there are many number of conditions. We will see how we can take this one. Step 1. Read salary of employee. Input salary. Find the HRA, DA, PF on given criteria. If salary less than 10,000, HRA is equal to 2/100 into salary. Else if salary less than 20,000, that means greater than 10,000, less than 20,000, HRA is equal to 4/100 into salary. Else if salary greater than 20,000, here less than 20,000 is over. Else if salary greater than 20,000, even you can avoid this statement just by taking else. You can continue with HRA is equal to 5/100 into salary, and at the end we can display HRA by taking print HRA. And then if salary less than 10,000, DA is 1/6 of salary, that is DA is equal to 1/6 into salary. Else if salary less than 20,000, DA is 1/4 of salary. Else if salary greater than 20,000, DA is 1/2, that is half of salary. Okay, then print DA. If salary less than 10,000, PF is equal to 200. Else if salary less than 20,000, PF is equal to 400. Else if salary greater than 20,000, PF is equal to 600. Print PF. Okay, this is one method. Okay, you can make it short by using in another way. If salary less than 10,000, we can take curly braces. Okay, we can take curly braces and then we can take HRA is equal to 2 by 100 into salary. Then we can take DA is equal to 1 by 6th of salary and PF is equal to 200 rupees. Okay, so in this way, at a time we can write all the calculations or all the expressions one by one below another by taking if salary less than 10,000 curly braces HRA is equal to DA is equal to PF is equal to curly braces you can close. Again we can take else if. That means in if statement we can take only one statement in the true part or maybe in the else part. If there are more than one statement, we have to take curly braces. That means if will not take compound statements. It will take only the single statement. But we can make multiple statement as a single statement by using curly braces. Curly means flower bracket. If salary less than 10,000, flower bracket, you can take more than one statement. Then we can end it by using end of that curly braces. And at the end, we can display all the values like salary, then HRA, DA, PF, and then we will stop the program. Next, another example that you can try in your home, an algorithm to input three numbers and find the biggest using if statement. Algorithm to input three numbers and find the biggest using if statement. You try by your own and then show me the output, maybe in the contact class. Next part is repetition, repetitive process. Repetitive process means looping process. Looping process means repeating one task many number of times. That is called looping process or repetition process. And in this process, there are three parts. First part is called initialization, and the second part is called increment, and third part is called condition to stop. There are three parts in the repetitive task. Initialization. So initialization means where to start. Okay, maybe for example, we have to print our name 10 times. Okay, maybe you have to print JMJ College 10 times. Then first we are taking I is equal to 0 JMJ, I is equal to 1 JMJ, I is equal to 2 JMJ. Now I is equal to 0. We started at this position. I is equal to 0, and that process we will call it as a initialization process. Increment. I is equal to 0 is incremented as 1 in the second step. I is equal to 0 plus 1, that is equal to 1. And next time 1 plus 1, that is equal to 2. And this process we'll call it as a increment process. We will increment the I or variable or counter to reach the stop condition. And condition to stop, I less than 10, stop the looping process. That means to repeat any task, we need initialization process. Somewhere we have to start, and then one by one we have to raise the value, that is raise the counter to reach one final value, and that final value we'll call it as a condition to stop. Okay, just we will see one example. Algorithm to repeat your name 10 times. Step 1. Initialize counter with value 0. C is equal to 0. This is initialization process. Step 2. Repeat name 10 times. Repeat for C 1 to 10. That means repeat the C value from 1 to 10. Print name. Okay, that is repeating name 10 times. So print name. Then step 3, stop, exit. And for this repetitive task, in every programming language, there are different commands. And the most common commands are for, while, do while. These three statements are commonly used for repetitive task. As I said, for the conditional task, there is if statement, and for repetitive task, there is for, while, and do while. Next is flowchart. A flowchart can be defined as a picture-wise representation, okay, or image formation, or graphical representation. Graphics means images. Graphical representation or symbolic representation. That means we will use one symbol for one process. Input process, there is one symbol. Output process, there is one symbol. Calculations, one symbol. That's why it is called as symbolic representation of a program or algorithm. Okay. Then basic symbols used in drawing flowchart. Oval symbol, that is first one, to start or end. That means to indicate start or beginning or end, we will use oval symbol. Instead of writing step 1 in the algorithm, directly we will take this symbol and we will indicate the program is, the flowchart is started. Okay, and flowchart ends, that we will indicate by using this oval symbol. Parallelogram, that is for input or output process. Input process and output process are indicated by using parallelogram symbol. Then the rectangle for processing. If you are doing some calculations, then use rectangle. Then the diamond symbol, that is for condition. If you are using if statement in the algorithm, same thing here we can write by using diamond symbol. Then this symbol is for repetitive process. If you are using repetitive task or repeat statement or for statement, then we will use this symbol. Then predefined process or function. If we are using functions, then we will take this symbol. Connectors. Maybe if in one page writing flowchart is not possible, you have to continue within the second page. Then we will use the connectors to indicate the part ends here and begins at the some other position, that we will indicate by using connectors, commonly called as page connectors. Then the comment box or annotation box. Comment box. Okay, you want to explain about some statements, then you can give some explanation about the statements by using this comment box symbol. Arrows or direct lines to connect one symbol with another. That means to connect one process or one symbol to another symbol, we will use these arrows or connectors. Okay, just we will see how we can write the flowchart. Flowchart to add three numbers and print sum and average. Start, input, A, B, C. Three numbers. Directly we can take. So writing step-by-step method is not necessary here. Directly start in the oval symbol, then the connector, okay, then this arrow symbol to connect this symbol to this symbol. Input A, B, C. Input A, B, C. Then again we are connecting. This is processing. You can see rectangle for the processing purpose, parallelogram for input, S equal to A plus B plus C. Again, there is one process, AVG is equal to S by 3. Then output S comma AVG. Again, here we have used parallelogram for the output, and at the end again in the oval symbol. Okay, so this is the method to represent using flowchart. Thank you, students. So just work on these concepts, and if you have any doubts in the content class, you can ask your doubt. Thank you. God bless you.